Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good at home, staying safe. Today I'm here to discuss why framing answers of the questions or solving questions are very important for students. Even if you are using best study materials and not solving questions, it is not work. Right? Because when you solve questions, you will know actually where are you lagging behind, and accordingly you try to search for the concept. While doing so, you earn more and more uh, knowledge regarding a particular topic. You learn how to frame answers sequentially, right? If you are getting a particular questions of 5 marks, how will you write it? If it is of 10 marks, how will you write it? So you are building concepts while solving questions, while framing answers, and your concepts become crystal clear. So today we are going to solve few questions related to kingdom Monera. So without any wasting time, let's start. The first question is, what is the characteristic feature of kingdom Monera? Monera is the kingdom which has unicellular organisms. These organisms are prokaryotic in nature, that is, there is no defined nucleus found within it. Neither any of its cell organelles are membrane bound, right? So monerans lack true nucleus. Only naked DNA is found within the cell, and it lacks membrane bound cell organelles. One of the important characteristic feature of Monera is that it can exist in very harsh conditions. Very harsh conditions, like it can survive in very hot spring water, that is at very high temperature, and it can also exist in the very cold region, right? So ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा हाई टेम्परेचर पे भी एग्जिस्ट कर सकता है, एंड at the same time few monerans can exist, it can survive at very low temperature. It can also survive in high salinity soil. Even if high concentration of salts are there in the soil, it can exist there, right? So it is the important characteristic feature. Now mode of nutrition. Mode of nutrition. Monera can be autotroph, that is, it can synthesize of its own food, right? Like plants, trees. In the same way, monerans can synthesize their own food. Few monerans, like cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, right? And few of them are heterotrophics. Heterotrophics means they depend upon other organisms to derive their energy. And heterotrophs can be saprophyting, that is, they depend upon dead, decayed organic materials. And some can be parasitic also. It can show parasitic nature, right? Because it take or use some of the products of the host body. Every one of us know what are parasite. Parasite live in or on the body of other organism and derive energy from that particular organism on which it is living. and those organisms is known as host. So these Monera, which are parasitic in nature, they can derive either energy or they can complete any part of their life cycle within that particular host. So Monera, basically it has bacteria. These are the bacteria is the solo organism that falls within Monera. And every one of us already know bacteria causes diseases. Why? Because it has pathogenic character. It has parasitic kind of character. It harms the host body, whether it is living inside the body or on the body, and the host can be any plants, animals, human beings, right? So this is the other thing. Again, mode of reproduction. So what is the mode of reproduction in Monera? Under favorable conditions, it shows binary fission. Binary fission occurs to multiply, right? So its number will grow through binary fission. If there is unfavorable conditions, means environmental conditions are not according to that bacteria, or there is nutrition or nutrient deprivation in its surrounding, then it will form spores, and through spores it can regenerate into a bacteria whenever it gets favorable conditions. And spore can survive many years. Isn't it strange? Right, it is. Another, you can say it's a kind of genetic recombination or something else, like sexual reproduction in bacteria, that is termed as conjugation. Conjugation is the characteristic that is found in bacteria, and bacteria falls under Monera. So it is also the characteristic of monerans, right? The cell wall of Monera is rigid and it is made up of peptidoglycan or murine, right? So this is all about characteristic features of Monera. Now, what are the solo group of Monera? Solo group of Monera is obviously bacteria. Already I have told you. What are the components of bacterial cell wall? It is peptidoglycan or murine. Next questions are, what do you mean by autotrophic bacteria? Autotrophic bacteria. Auto means self. So these bacteria can make their own food, and these may be of two types, that is photoautotrophic bacteria and chemoautotrophic bacteria. Photoautotrophic bacteria utilize or harvest sunlight through its pigment. Bacterial pigment is there, that is light harvesting pigment. It harvests the sunlight and use sugar as the carbon source and make organic food. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria are those bacteria which utilize organic and inorganic compounds present in its surrounding to form its organic compound that are necessary for its body parts or its metabolic activities, right? So what happens? Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria utilize inorganic compounds. It may utilize organic compounds too, right? So heterotrophic bacteria now. Heterotrophic bacteria can live in or outside the body of any animals, like inside our body E. coli are found. E. coli is found. What it does? It helps in our digestion, and some are very useful for producing antibiotics, right, and many other purposes. They are used for making curd, any cheese, other kind of food items. So bacteria are important too, beneficial for humankind, right? At the same way, on the other hand, bacteria is very harmful too. Few bacteria causes diseases in animals, plants and human beings. These are heterotrophic bacteria. Saprophytic bacteria. Next question is saprophytic bacteria. Saprophytes are those organisms which depends on dead decayed organism, right? So wherever dead animals, plants or anything is found, on that bacteria grows and it take nutrition from those dead decaying bacteria, and it act as decomposers there. Means it decomposes the dead organism. It act as very important medium to complete the cycle of any element in this world. So it forms or decompose organic material of other dead decaying matter and degrade it into elemental form and return it to the environment. So it is very important. Parasites are infectious bacteria. It can be infectious bacteria, and infectious bacteria can be called as parasite because it harms host, right? Useful bacteria. Already I have told you many useful bacteria, like it is useful in the synthesis of curd, like lactobacillus, etc. And bacteria degrade organic compounds, right? It can degrade organic compounds. If there is dead decaying plants or animals, it can break down proteins into ammonia. Again, bacteria live in the gut of animals and it helps in breaking down of food or in digestion. It can fix nitrogen. It acts as nitrifying bacteria, right? It also acts as nitrogen fixing bacteria, right? They are very useful in the sewage treatment. They used to synthesize antibiotics like streptomycin. In industries, these are very useful in the formation of vinegar, production of vitamins. So it has endless use. So very few I have mentioned, right? So next questions we will discuss in next video. Till then, bye and thank you.